Om Swastiastu, as we say here in Bali, where I have been for the last month in a deep alchemical laboratory of creating my next platform. And Bali has held me with such her immaculate grace, her bounty of beauty, her incredible artistic genius that I find here with the people and the culture. There's just such artisans. And I've been in my craft, my art, of building this new platform called Regenesis that I'd love to welcome you to. And I can honestly say that this has been something I'm working on creating, synthesizing a body of work for the last 15 years of my life. And I've brought through smaller iterations of it in years past, but finally, this platform will be open for a growing group of people to work with, to meet in and evolve with together, to be trained in, and for some, eventually to become facilitators of this process through a 13-month training program. But the first part of sharing the Regenesis process in a consistent and ongoing way are going to be these virtual Zoom transmissions that we're going to do every 2 weeks, with our premiere episode beginning on May 10th for the USA, and for people in Europe and Australia, be morning of the 11th. And so these Zoom transmissions, well, the first one we're going to do, it's called Crossing the Threshold. And the question might arise in your head, so what is the threshold we are crossing? That has many answers and many levels to it, but we're here at a point of no return. We're here where there's a grand revealing, which some in the past would call the apocalypse, the great revealing. And in revealing, there's healing. In the power of death and transformation, there's the potential for synthesizing something that's never been born on the planet before. And here we are on Earth Day. Here we are understanding that a global synchronization of common intent and purpose is absolutely the essential way of moving forward together. The core statement of Regenesis, the subtitle, is Awakening Your Infinite Nature to Guide Humanity's Rebirth. So this whole platform is a field of pure purpose for us to come together and work this profound energy that's anchoring into the planet and requiring generators, generators of love and compassion and consciousness, to undertake the greatest task we could possibly even imagine as a personal soul, as a collective group. The goal of this work really, in the end, is self-mastery. It's cosmic alignment with all the forces of the universe. It's planetary attunement. It's intimate self-communion. And the premise, I would say, of this work is that we're each oracles. We each have so much wisdom that we're bringing forth. And we're each like a superconductive field. We're a generator of that love, power, and wisdom that the Creator has asked us to magnify and bring into this world. Magnify, amplify, elevate, uplift, integrate our consciousness in service to what, though? It's always going to be the question. What is this realization process that we're each so uniquely going through inside? It's to serve the one. It's to become increasingly more effective transmitters of that which we're embodying, and transmit that grace, transmit that vibrational coherence. So to be a transmitter, of course, requires that we ourselves are coherent and we're living from that state. So on these calls we're going to be doing, these Zoom transmissions, I'd like to consider them to be like alchemical laboratories where we can do our deep inner work, but within a field together where we're supporting that process of transmuting our shadows, our imprints, fears, overwhelm, confusion, at the immensely challenging time we're living in and through on the planet right now. See, even as I talk it, I feel myself deepening and slowing down, because it has been such a profound time. And I feel like the peaks and the valleys that we've each been going through are more and more extreme. I mean, I've noticed that with my friends, with my family, seeing the global trends. And yes, from my own personal life, I have seen this, the highs and the lows, as the planet moves through its zones of turbulence, attempting to stabilize into the next octave. We're in the zone of turbulence while that next octave of energy and harmonization can happen. So wouldn't it be amazing to receive support, stabilizing your own energy body, stabilizing the intensity of the emotions that are rising up inside of you and all around you that you have to interface, help stabilize one another in the group so that we can stabilize the collective of humanity, right? So we're not going to get through this unless we do our integrative shadow work. It's more important than ever just to stay coherent these days, just to see things with clarity in this era, this pivot swinging time on the planet, reflected in our own personal lives. It's prompting us to do the greatest, most refined work on ourselves. The deep karmic work, the deep trauma-informed processes and recognition in the mirror of what has created the schisms we're each still healing, that are a reflection of the outer circumstances and the issues in the world. As the churning and the collective karma intensifies, why is it being intensified? So it can be released, right? So all of it has such deep purpose and motivation to do this inner work that we can do together. And so the motivation of these sessions of Regenesis is not just to help you get free and remove, the patterns and the conflicts. And, we all want a more peaceful, harmonious life. But the true motivation is for soul mastery, for awakened service and purpose, to find each other, because we need each other at this time. And this is going to drive us faster and farther in our spiritual path when we awaken together, when we have that support, and find ways, such through like the guided meditations that we'll be doing, the practices and techniques. They are going to be designed to help you also open you into your own revelations and your own insights around your work, around what your gifts and how to specifically bring those into the world and truly embody what your soul essence is designed for. Because the more that we wake up, the more we realize that all of our work, all of our self-development we're doing, we're refining it like a diamond so that that work can be reflected with clarity as the light ray of our soul self penetrates into us, because we're clear vessels now, that then it shines off the facet of who we are into the world. And you're here for something very specific, each of you, right? The more you wake up, realize who you are, the more you can become this superconductor of amplifying full potential for our humanity, all of us. So each of these transmissions, we're going to have a theme or a focus for each episode, let's call them. There'll be energetic activations. There'll be real-time, but also takeaway techniques to use in your life. And what I clearly want to offer you are consistent, powerful spiritual practice within a community. And these practices, we're going to also have guest speakers and facilitators eventually. And everything's going to be for you to keep your frequency aligned and purified and vibrating high, because it's more essential than ever. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed how it's sometimes taking even more of your focus to stay clear and on your path? So what are the ways we can do that in our daily life? Well, how can you bring that to your altar when in the more focused meditation too? How can you do that within your relationships, since that's the primary place where oftentimes our frequency can be compromised? If I could give you ways to more effortlessly upgrade your frequency and kind of like access that universe's unlimited energy, wisdom, power, and feel that resourcing more often, that would assist you immensely, right? To be the creative power you were born to be here in this world. So practical details of like, yeah, okay, all of that spirit experience, but give me ways to reset my nervous system when I'm feeling thrown off. That's what I want to give as well. I want to utilize things for you that are truly going to help you to ground and stabilize your everyday life as well. And when the peaks and then the valleys come, that you stay true to yourself. By staying true to ourselves, we become an awakened leader. And this is another part of what these transmissions are about. And all the retreats and the online trainings that I'll be giving, awakened leadership, unlocking your capacity to awaken and to guide others, to be an evolutionary beacon, to be a lighthouse at this time where I won't say it's a time of darkness, but it's a time where everything's being revealed. If you could be a beacon for others, right? Can we do that together? Many of us, we're already on this path, and we could use some more support together. And there's so much that I want to share about the multidimensional structure of reality as well, and how the dimensions work. What is the soul? What is consciousness? All of these things. Ultimately, I want to find something where we have the potential in our hands to do something, to be an active force, not just in the etheric Zoom transmissions that we do and retreats, but then that goes out, that amplifies how you act in the world. So these are the pieces that Regenesis kind of is, this full spectrum of experiences that we're going to provide. And so I want to welcome you now to also go to my brand new website platform. It's called regenesisproject.net. And here is a awesome portal for you to connect, and you'll find also how to go into the Regenesis Zoom transmission, the virtual event. You can find your specific time zone here as well. And I want to welcome people also to join our Facebook group, which you'll be able to access there from the website. But the Facebook group is a place where we're going to also, that'll be the easy way to share about the upcoming transmissions, news about retreats and trainings, the synchronized meditations that we're actually going to be doing daily, starting up in a couple months, and just other ways to be supported on your journey. And know that this is an etheric temple space and a place where our growing community can interact. Both the Facebook group, but just in general, these virtual events together. So, my dear friends, thank you. For those of you who have been following me for years, and for those who are just coming to know this body of work that has now been synthesized into Regenesis Project, I am honored to meet with you on May 10th as the kind of initiation of the whole ship that we're going to be traveling on together. And until then, stay, have a beautiful day, and we'll see you on the inside soon enough.